So talk to me a little bit about the tweeds. Huntsman is, almost as well known for its tweeds as it is its, kind of Huntsman silhouette. Where did this come from, and how are you guys still using tweeds today, maybe perhaps the same way they were, a century ago?
Well, tweeds historically have been designed by the cutters at Huntsman, so it's a reflection of the time and the place and what their clients' needs were, and they were displayed in the shop on bolts, which is where the term bespoke came from, because a client walked into the shop and said, "I quite fancy that pattern," and on that tag they would write his name and the meterage that was required, and therefore the cloth was spoken for or bespoken for that client. Huntsman has a great history of developing proprietary tweeds, many of which have been made by the historic mills in the United Kingdom. This particular one made in Islay, which is a mill that's been in existence for nearly 500 years. And Islay actually only produces two things: whiskey without an E and cloth. We've produced tweeds at some of the great firms, including Johnsons of Elgin, which is all the way north in Scotland. And ironically, the word tweed itself is not understood because it really is a misinterpretation of the Scottish word tweel, meaning twill, because it's woven on a twill diagonal construction. And when a merchant in London received a letter talking about tweel, he thought it was miswritten and was actually meant or intended to mean that it was a cloth that came from the Tweed River in Scotland. So from that day forward, tweel was known as tweed.
And tweed are, again, these traditionally these country, fabrics that, wouldn't be worn in the city, but, are, for country pursuits.
Absolutely, and in fact, in their origin, they have extremely practical background, because in the borders, tweeds were developed by Johnsons of Elgin for the people, the owners of property who needed to basically develop camouflage, because they needed to have cloths that were designed with colorations that basically made them innocuous, so they could walk among their animals, their deer, their partridge, their pheasants, what have you, and not be noticed. So it was really the tweed is the original form of camouflage.
Yeah, and it also, the tweeds were very specific to the family and to the estate also.
Yes, and in fact, many of the heritage tweeds still today carry the name of the landowner, because that name is on the tweed, and it's the tweed of Cotter or the tweed of whatever. And interestingly, talking about bespoke, in the world of Huntsman today, we do a couple of things which are quite interesting and unique. We actually run a tweed competition every year, and clients get to design their own tweed, and those tweed submissions are judged by a panel that includes the rich, the famous, those from Huntsman, those from the industry. I think even Stella McCartney has been involved in one of the tweed judgings, and quite interestingly, the last two tweed winners, one came from the United States, the state of Nebraska, and the second one comes from, I believe it is Iowa.
Okay.
So
there we go.
Going full circle, quite interesting that it would come from the middle of the United States, from the heartland of the U.S. So apropos of the whole discussion of tweed, this representing the hardiest of all fabrics, so it's hale and hardy, and it's really practically designed for a very harsh environment. We've taken those same looks and created cloths both in wool and in cashmere, which are appropriate and more contemporary for modern usage. In fact, our creative director, Campbell Carey, last year created an entire anniversary collection with Joshua Ellis, which was celebrating its 250th anniversary, in super lightweight cashmere. So while they have the dimension and the look and the handle of traditional heavier tweeds, they're lightweight and a very appropriate, in an urban setting where clients are living and going in and out of, humidity and air-controlled environments and need something which is comfortable. There is a famous cloth called Glorious Twelfth, which was produced by Porter and Harding, because it was done for the start of the shooting season when gentlemen who wanted traditional sporting gear couldn't wear something which was this heavy. So the Glorious 12th collection was developed to provide a cloth that was the weight of a mid-weight worsted suit, but with all of the look of the traditional tweeds.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications by clicking the bell to the right of the subscribe button so that you can learn whenever we release new videos. If you have any questions or comments about anything we discussed on this video, please ask them in the comments section below. And of course, please visit hangerproject.com, where we have the largest, most comprehensive collection of luxury garment care and shoe care accessories in the world, as well as many other incredible products for the well-dressed. And while you are there, subscribe to our newsletter to receive notifications of new product launches, promotions, as well as a weekly digest of all the videos we publish here on our YouTube channel.